Welcome to Forever White Belt. I'm your host, Adolfo Foronda. We have a kind of a different episode today. This is the holiday gift guide episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover a bunch of different sort of gift ideas at all kinds of price tiers. We're going to go low, medium, high, and just ridiculous, like, as if you'd won the lottery kind of stuff possibly here. And then we're going to think about things like your academy and things also academy owners might be thinking about. All I ask is maybe you buy me a cup of coffee with buymeacoffee.com / forever white belt. So let's get to it. Gift guide 2025 gift guide for the holidays. Let's start with the low end stuff. Finger tape. In particular, I like this thin stuff. Tape is pretty essential, especially for your gi players out there. And then also electrolytes. So this is the one thing I do mention. I do have a partnership but I really love their product. Salt Electrolytes, fantastic. Use code FWB, save 15%. Fantastic product, electrolytes. Whatever you may be using, you should stay hydrated. I highly recommend Salt Electrolytes. And then some sort of like antifungal thing. I have no affiliation with this company. They sent me some time ago a few of these Avalwall, but this could be like a defense spray or tea tree oil type of thing. This is great stuff. So like after you train, you got a cut, something like that. You want to spray something like this to like, offset the cooties and all the fungal and nasty stuff like staph and, ringworm or anything like that to sort of deter that kind of stuff to the best of our ability. So that makes a great gift. And then also for the laundry, I had some gis that were in rash guards that were getting a little funky for a while. And I just had to ask people, what do you guys put in your laundry in order to help with that stuff? Everyone had all kinds of different suggestions, but the overwhelming winner was this stuff. And I do like it quite a bit. It's called Otoban. So probably many of you Jiu-Jiteros out there are pretty familiar with Otoban. They come in a bunch of different stuff. You can find this at, your everywhere online. You can order it, whatever. So I don't know, works good for me. Would love your input on suggestions on all the stuff I mentioned here as well. I'm always looking for good tips as well. And then I don't have it here, but a liquid Band-Aid. It looks it'll come in something like this. It comes out and you sort of brush it on your cut. The way I found out about this before, when you start jujitsu, at the top of your feet often get cut from the mats a lot. You just get a little mat rash is what we call it when your skin is sort of thin and you haven't sort of built up the callus yet and the thicker skin, if you will. And it may take a little bit of skin off and that exposure you probably is not good to have in terms of hygiene. People recommend it to me, liquid Band-Aid. You just put it on, you brush it on kind of like a nail polish or onto that cut and it seals it up and it works fantastic. I don't know why everyone doesn't have this. This is like my go-to actually to have in my DOB kit in my bag that I bring to train all the time is some sort of liquid Band-Aid. They come in different brand names. So your mileage may vary there. You can find this all over the place, any drugstore, whatever. Very affordable. Highly, highly recommend you go get it. People often use it for like shaving cuts and things like that. And that's how I found out about it online. And people were suggesting this type of thing for that type of solution. So liquid, any type of liquid Band-Aid, go get it. The next recommendation for a gift would be new slides. We don't walk onto the mats with our shoes on, but in order to get to those mats, we typically wear some sort of slip-ons for easy on, easy off access on our feet. So, we're probably always in the market for some nice slides or new slides. They can get worn down after a while. And after you walk in the many, many miles, as I have for many years, you probably do. Treat yourself or treat others that to a new pair of slides. And books. There's a ton of jiu-jitsu books out there. So go look for your local author out there, or whoever you may look up to. A lot of great jiu-jitsu books out there. I'll leave it up to you. If you have any good recommendations, there's a ton of them out there. Also journals, right? So there's a lot of jiu-jitsu journals. A lot of you people out there use that for training. I've just sort of started again back into journaling, although I do mine online. So journals are very cool. It's a nice physical thing to give, and sometimes you can find some fun branded stuff. I think we're going to have some in our shop at the Forever White Belt shop, which is fwb.printful.me. So our shop is at fwb.printful.me. We'll probably be adding some journals if they're not there already. Okay, so let's go to now the medium tier of shopping for this gift guide, and it's gis and training wear. So gis come in a variety of brands out there. So whatever you like. I know there's a lot of inverted gear fans out there. There's a lot of Fuji fans, Dojo Champ. There's a ton of them. So you get the gi that you like. I'm partial to summer gis. I like the thin gis because I sweat like a circus freak, and it doesn't get particularly too cold in Northern California, but I know a lot of you really have some pretty rough weather out there. So now, as I mentioned, rash guards and shorts, right? We can always use some new rash guards and shorts. Some of you like just some real basic stuff. Some of you like some really fancy, outlandish, colorful type of rash guards. Again, please check out our store at fwb.printful.me. I think we got some very cool new rash guards in stock. We're selling them at cost for the holiday season. So check it out, fwb.printful.me. Some of you like fancy belts. I know a few people that got some custom belts with some custom embroidery. Well, it makes a nice gift. And I have to admit, when you have a nice quality belt, it does feel nice quality and they look really cool. But go gift someone a fancy belt. Also, I mentioned gym bags, right? Gym bags, we don't think about that, right? Because we just use them so much. Put them in the laundry, people, every now and then, would you please? And there's a variety of great gym bags out there. So think about giving the gift of a gym bag. And then we have a medium range type of relief stuff, right? I'm talking your massage guns, your massage balls, your foam rollers, and that comes in a plethora of different options, whether they're battery powered or not electric at all. There's all kinds of stuff there that can get really, really fun and really crazy. And then on the medium tier, also a gift card, right? So I know BJJ Fanatics has a gift card that you can order. Who knew, right? bjjfanatics.com/products/gift-card. We get no kickback from that. I'm just mentioning it. It seems like a great gift, especially if you can put like pretty much any sort of amount on there, I believe. So it's really cool. And then if you have like a home gym, and we're going to get into that, a wall mounted round timer is really cool and a nice thing to have. Now we're going to move to the larger, sort of crazier side of stuff for yourself or for others as a gift for the Jujutero mats for your home. Personally, you can have custom mats. I have some really awesome tatami mats that just roll out. They kind of are round and they sort of roll out. They're really cool. So maybe mats for your garage or your shed or whatever area in your property, your home, or whatever it may be. It's a nice splurge to have some nice quality mats for personal use if you're lucky enough to have friends that practice as well. And then we're going to get really crazy here. Many of you have seen grappling dummies can go from all ranges of prices. I know way back I spent way too much on a grappling dummy way back in 2012. Not the best thing, but it helps a lot, for some gross motor movements, or as I've mentioned in the past, when I've been really, really injured and I wanted to sort of gauge where I am in terms of returning back to the mats. The grappling dummy has been huge to sort of gauge where I am in terms of, am I ready to come back to the mats and how much so? And then you can get really nuts at the super high level with something like a robot, right? That's, I don't know if you've seen that. You must have seen like these videos of this. It's sort of like an AI grappling dummy where they have these glasses, and the more you squeeze it, it'll turn like a red, yellow, green or something like that. And their limbs actually feel like they're breaking when you're taking them beyond where they should. So the arm will feel like it breaks, the ankle, the leg. So it's really a trip. Check out the videos for that robot. I believe that's robotbjj.com, high ticket item for sure. So the next thing I want to mention is I see a lot of people with these heart trackers. So people are still doing this sort of biohacking type of stuff and measuring their heart rate variability and things like that. I think it's really great and really smart move of you to measure these things and see where you're at and get an idea if it's a good day to train. How much should I be training or not training, etc. So heart trackers, check them out. They go from all kind of scale. I've got a Polar myself. It's okay. Other people have other ones that they like. And you can get home saunas. I see them from all range. I have a super cheap like zip up one that goes to your head that only doesn't get hot enough, but gets, hot enough for me to sweat. That's when my local gym sauna is closed. I'll utilize that. But some people have the really nice ones, whether it's infrared or electric of some sort. The home sauna is really amazing. I saw them at Costco for, like $1,700 for this wooden sort of phone booth looking sauna, which is all wooden, really cool. So something that I really like too are red light therapy panels. You can get all range of prices of these things too, in size as well. So you can go really nuts with really big chamber panels that you lay down in. And then there's like smaller ones that you can point to like specific parts of your body that are a little more affordable. I love these for my knees. I put these on my knees almost every morning. I got a little panel myself. I like them a lot. So it's red light therapy panels. Check it out. There's a ton of them online. Something to think about. And then there's cold plunges. A lot of people love your cold plunges, and there's a whole range of cold plunges as well that you can go really nuts with, the super high end custom ones that you can build into your cement backyard or whatever you will. And then they have these basically troughs, metal troughs that you dump in water and ice. And some people do that, and all kinds of inflatable ones, etc. And then if you want to think about like monthly memberships too, there's cryotherapy places out there that do specifically cryotherapy, where you walk into this chamber and they do this super cold gas stuff. I've done it before, and you're in there for like 2 to 3 minutes, something like that, depending on what you can take, and it freezes you almost. But cryotherapy packages and monthly memberships. That's now another large purchase that everyone seems to really like in terms of warming up and exercise for jiu-jitsu is the Airdyne bike. Now, again, there's all sorts of range of all these things. An Airdyne bike, people love it. They're fantastic. I think it's a great piece of exercise equipment, and I wish I had one at my house. So another really cool large purchase that you can give to someone else or yourself would be jiu-jitsu camps, seminars, and privates with your coach, or perhaps some sort of famous-ish people or people that you look up to online or something like that, personalities, whatever, professionals, experts in the field. So privates, seminars are always, not always, but typically fantastic. I mean, in my case, it's almost 99% fantastic, the seminars that I've went to. And then the camps that I've been to have all been super fun. I highly recommend the BJJ Globetrotters camps. They're fun. They're really fun. And you get a lot out of it. I know there's a lot of travel packages too that you can go with other jiu-jiteros. They go to places like Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, all over the world, really. And really cool. I know Carl Prevec, the Silver Fox, has a really cool one. And other people do a lot of really cool travel camps, jiu-jitsu camps that you could gift to other people. What a gift that would be, right? Okay, and then another one sort of on the recovery thing edge again is compression boots. Some people love them, some people don't. Again, your mileage will vary. They can get expensive. Compression boots, they can go up to your calves sometimes. Sometimes they do the full leg, and they tend to squeeze and release. And I think the higher ones will do like some heat as well, maybe a little bit of massage in them in the tube. Typically, it's like an air bladder type of thing. Yeah, so compression boots. The next gift would be like a massage, chiropractic, or PT session bundle. The ones that I recommend are Open Mat Physio, is a jiu-jitsu specific online jiu-jitsu PT experience. Fantastic. I've worked with them before, and they are pretty amazing. They work specifically with jiu-jitsu practitioners only. And then I also recommend Grappling Strength and Performance. It used to be Victory Submission Strength, but now they're called Grappling Strength and Performance. Grapplestrong.com with Matt Guffey. Just a wonderful strength training and recovery type of online offering where you can actually purchase these packages, and just wonderful options. Highly recommend it. Yes, and these are all people that I've had on the show. Dr. Wes Hendricks, I just had him on the show. He works with you one-on-one in terms of your recovery and optimizing your strength and that type of thing. I don't know if he's taking new clients right now, but although he's in super high demand, and I'm sure there's a ton of those out there for you to consider. And let's go with you gym owners out there. So you might want to be thinking about things like purchasing a professional mat cleaning machine, sort of the Zamboni style giant mat cleaner. A lot of us don't have that luxury, but we're just going crazy here. If you're one of those bigger gyms that has good, sufficient funds, something to think about. Maybe updating or upgrading your custom front desk point of sale system. I know a lot of people use like Zen Planner or et cetera, and you may want to, upgrade your plan or go to something else higher end if perhaps you're on a low end type of thing, or you're just doing it like an Excel spreadsheet or something. Maybe you want to think about that. Another cool thing that you could purchase is a branded pro shop starter kit. So things like custom shelves, lighting, signage, and hangers and stuff for, a more sort of like a retail type of experience. When you walk in, it looks like really professional, really cool, like a pro shop of some sort. So that's something you can invest in. Another thing too is high-end storage lockers for your students. There's a lot of these options now that are very cool. And another thing to think about would be something like a full-scale academy rebranding package. I know there's a lot of marketers or designers out there that work with academies to do this type of thing. So you can have perhaps a new or updated logo, signage, website refresh, social media templates, and things like that, which is a really nice thing, especially for a lot of these academies that are just like one person operating them. They can use all the help they can get. So if you can afford that or purchase that for your academy or your coach, go do it. Right on. Another thing you might want to think about for your gym is high-end security cameras and access systems, like a 24 keyless entry fob system. You have a lot of these headless sort of gyms popping up everywhere now. Where what I mean is like there's maybe a sort of a maintenance worker on staff 24/7, or perhaps these really long hours where someone can just come in and work out on their own as it fits with their schedule. The same could work with in a jujitsu gym. You get a buddy, you want to come in train off hours for something, or maybe a small group of you, whatever it may be, and you can let yourself in and do this kind of thing, depending, if you sign the waiver and all that stuff and you got the right insurance. This is something to consider. So having good security cameras, which you probably should have already, and an access type of system. And then another thing a lot of academies don't have, which I really didn't consider because we don't have that kind of weather here, is a air purifier and dehumidifier combo. So it gets really sweaty in the gym and can fog up, right? This is where dehumidifiers is a cool thing to like get rid of all that sweat, gunk on your windows, et cetera, on your walls. So yeah, air purifier and dehumidifiers could be cool. And also depending on where you are geographically, that could be a big help. So also things you could be gifting to your gym, your personal gym as a student, if they need it, if they're really a small gym or something like that. And perhaps a mat cleaner, that gets expensive, so find out what kind of mat cleaner they use and you can purchase a bottle of it or something like that for your particular gym. Find out what kind of hand soap they use, what kind of toilet paper they use, and paper towels like from Costco or something like that, right? Depending on what they use. A lot of these sort of paper towel dispensers and toilet paper dispensers are sometimes through a service and they have like a proprietary size to kind of hook you in on a monthly thing. So depending on your gym, that's something you could gift to your coach or your academy owner. And then defense wipes are always good, or as I mentioned before, this kind of stuff spray for like the anti cooties type of stuff. I've heard great things about defense soap and defense wipes that people love that stuff. So yeah, that would be a great thing to have at your gym, for your students and you as a student, you can purchase it for your academy, perhaps if it's okay with your academy owner, and gift that to the gym. Another really cool thing for your gym would be, and really for anyone on this list, would be gift cards and cash and swag for the staff, for your coaches. They don't make a ton of money depending on where you're at, unless you have a gazillion students. Well, certainly the coaches aren't killing it. Gift cards for them, cash for them would probably be king, right? And or like cool rash guards from, let's say, fwb.printful.me would be much appreciated. And you know what is surprisingly expensive is those backpack mat sprayers. So you got to spray the mats down, after you brush them off or vacuum them, depending on your process. And those backpack mat sprayers can get up there. They're like $100, starting now all of a sudden, at least here in California. So yeah, something like that to see what they're using. Maybe you can purchase one of those if you got a deeper pocket. So gifts for your gym. Okay, so to finish up here, I am going to suggest subscriptions, right? So your online stuff, your instructionals and that type of stuff, there's a ton of them. Like I've mentioned before in a lot of the episodes, everyone's rolling out their own Patreons and stuff. So I'm going to name off some of the people that's been on the show. Not everyone, so I apologize. This is sort of like my initial top of my head list that I've created, that people that really stand out to me in terms of their content. And also, if you have a Patreon out there or like a subscription thing that you would like me to review, give me access, because a lot of you guys I can't recommend because I just have never used your product. And some people, a handful of people have given me full access, right? Which kind of makes sense. And others have not. So I can't really speak to it or recommend it to any extent. So just putting that out there. And I love the content. So yeah, I want to learn as well. Someone I recommend highly is Drew Weatherhead. He's been a guest on the show. Fantastic content. Check him out at drewjitsuonline.com, drewjitsuonline.com. And then another service is Digitsu, online instructional platform. Now have monthly subscription option. We had their owner, Sean, their founder, on the show before. It's DIGITSU, Digitsu, and they have a fantastic online monthly service for instructionals and learning. And then also Brandon McCaffrin has BJJ 365. It's phenomenal instructions, phenomenal content. He's a remarkable and probably top 5 coach and teacher in my opinion. Now, mainly a entrepreneur of the PGF, so I don't think they update as much as I'd like them to with new content. I know they just added a seminar thing, but I'd like to see more of it. But man, even their existing back catalog is just really good stuff. Another one that I've stumbled upon, who I've had on recently, a lot of and it just has incredible library of content, is Rob Bernacki with bjjconcepts.net. That's bjjconcepts.net. And they offer all kinds of just amazing content for the students, like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced content. They have a pedagogy section, just wonderful stuff. And they have all kinds of information. And then a service that I haven't particularly used, but a lot of you have recommended, is SubMeta. That's Lachlan Giles' online instructional platform. So I'll just leave it at that, SubMeta. And then another one who I really, really love is, I almost consider him one of my coaches as well, is the Silver Fox, Carl Prevec, who, during the whole lockdown was coaching me, teaching me and some others online every day. And just a fantastic platform he has online. Check it out. They have monthly options now, an app. So the Silver Fox, Carl Prevec, he's a Henzo Gracie black belt, gazillion degree black belt, just wealth of knowledge. Another incredible instructor, again, probably in my top 5, is Charles Harriott. So check him out. He has a Patreon. I haven't really seen too much of it, but we've had him for multiple seminars. I've had Charles on the show many times, and I can vouch, I've got a few of his instructionals from Fanatics, and he is just an incredible wealth of knowledge. He travels the world constantly, so he's always seeing the latest and greatest and what everyone's doing, the metas, and just incredible instructor. So check out his Patreon, Charles Harriott. And then someone who did give me access to their Patreon is Tom and Dean Astorita. They are, I believe, Kingsway guys, and they have just a fantastic platform. Younger guys that just have primarily no-gi content, just wonderful, wonderful content. I'm just amazed by what great teachers they are at such a young age. It's really impressive, very smart, and I love the way they articulate everything and describe everything. Definitely recommend Tom and Dean Astorita and their Patreon. And then also Josh Janis. He has White Lotus Academy, and he has a Patreon as well. Really fantastic stuff. I love the ethos of his academy and just his mindset, and well-spoken. And another legend in the sport who finally has his own offering is John Calistine, an incredible no-gi player all around, an incredible coach out of New York. He has a great Patreon, so check him out, John Calistine. And another phenomenal mind in the game right now, I think, is just going to be an incredible coach after his career ends. He's a professional competitor right now, is Max Hansen. Just such a great mind for the sport. From what I've seen of his stuff, just a great analytical mind. His rolling breakdowns are incredible. His tournament breakdowns are fantastic. You always get something out of his stuff. Highly recommend following and subscribing to Max Hansen. And a good friend of the show, Malachi Friedman, just an OG in the sport, a great mind again for jiu-jitsu and now MMA as well. So I would definitely check out Malachi's offerings online. Really great stuff. And then someone who did give me access, people love this guy, is Randy William. Just a really cool dude, very straightforward, very fundamental driven, and he's just a really funny guy and really strong. All right. So Randy, and that's not a slight on Randy. He's a badass. And another great mind for the sport too, and guest of the show, Nathan Haddad. I would check out his stuff. Very articulate also, just, generations of information from his father and Helio Seneca as well. This guy is going to be a great coach. He is a great coach, I should say, but going to, after his career, I'm sure he's one of these guys that I also see is going to be a fantastic coach one day. So check out Nathan Haddad. So check out all the subscriptions, Patrons out there. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this gives you some ideas in terms of gifts and things like that for your loved ones or your friends or your buddies or your coaches or what have you. If you won the lottery, I hope you get all this stuff and then some and kick me down a little bit. So I'm your host, Adolfo Foronda. Thanks again for watching and listening out there for this 2025 holiday gift guide. And remember, drink your Salt Electrolytes and go train with us at North Bay Jiu Jitsu. And we would love to have you up in Northern California. And thanks so much for your time. See you guys next time.